Okay, so now we're going to go and step it up a level in using the substitution method. So we're going to do a similar technique that we did on the last video. Okay, so here, notice that y here is equal to 4x. And what we're going to do is substitute it right here to this y over here. So notice again, this is a linear equation, this is another linear. And what we're going to do is substitute this y here with this. So how does that work? Well, you do this. So I'll put this in green, and we substitute the y for 4x. So when I rewrite it, this part that I'm underlining in black, I write it the same. Equals x plus 1. But then this part, instead of y, I'm going to write in 4x because y equals 4x. So I'm going to type in here 4x. Okay? And then I want to make a decision where I want the x's and where I want the numbers. Okay, so notice that right here the x is already by itself, so it'll just be easier to move this x over here. So what I'm going to say is that I want the x's on this side and the numbers on this side. Alright, so let me rewrite it. So I have 4x equals to x plus 1. Now that I have a plan, I want to move this x. So I have to add or subtract something to it so it could be a 0. So what I'm going to do is subtract an x on the right side. And I subtract the x on the left side to keep it balanced. So what I want to do is combine these terms together and these terms together. So I'll use blue. So right here, x minus x is just 0, so this will cancel. And I have on the right side the 1, so I just bring the 1 down. And then I want to combine these terms together. 4x minus x gives us 3x. Whoops, let me maintain consistency and use the black color here. 3x. Okay. Now that we have that, okay, what I want to do is then solve for x, so I'll divide by 3 on both sides. Okay, then this gives me a giant 1 right here, so I have 1x is equal to 1/3. Okay, so then what I want to do is solve for the variables. Right, I need to find out what y is and x is. So notice I found out what x is here. But what I don't have, unlike last time, they don't tell me what y equals to, right? So what you have to do is make a decision. You could either plug in the x here and solve for y, or plug in the x here and solve for y. Okay? So what I'm going to do is just take this and plug it in here. Okay? So what I'm going to do is open up another slide. Okay? And what I'll do is I'll put it in red here. I'm going to say let x equal 1/3. So notice here, I copied this part right here, x equals 1/3. Alright, and I'm going to plug it into the first one. So I'm going to plug it into this one here. So let me put it in blue. So this one, I'm going to bring it down here. Y equals 4. And remember, when they're stuck together, they're multiplying. So I'm going to multiply it by, and I'm going to take this and plug it in because that's what x equals. I'm going to plug it in here. I could do the same. I could plug it in here, but I decide to plug it in here first. Okay, so then I go ahead and plug that in. Like that. Now when you're multiplying these things, okay, you have to remember that a whole number has a 1 underneath it. And you go ahead and multiply like this. So when you're multiplying fractions, all you have to do is multiply straight across. So you'll multiply 4 times 1 and then 4 times 3. And if you do that, we get 4/3. Okay, we get 4/3. So this is our y value, and this is our x value. Now we have our ordered pair. So I'm going to go like this. Here's my ordered pair. And my x, I'll put in red, is 1/3. And my y is 4/3. Okay? And now what I'm going to do is check if my answer is correct, right? So what I'm going to do is click here to decimals, and I'm going to write y equals 4x. Okay, you see the line there. And then I have y equals x plus 1. So I have y equals x plus 1. And then if we check, we're like, oh, wait a minute, it has decimals here. It's not the same as the fraction. So what we want to do is check if this is correct. So 1/3, what I do on the side here, I put 1 divided by 3. And notice that it's 0.333, which matches the decimal right here. Then I'm going to check 4/3. Okay, so I go right here, 4 divided by 3. And notice that it's 1.33 and it repeats the 3. So if I click here, notice that I do get the same answer. Okay, so what you have to do now is just take a picture of the work. So you will take a picture of this here and this here and put it in the document right here. And then take a screenshot of your graph here. And then notice again how I check if the fractions match the decimal by just plugging in the fraction and seeing that the decimals match. Alright, and that's what you have to do for today's assignment. Okay? Good luck.